Thank you, Mayor Biss. I did not prepare a statement for tonight, but I will speak from the heart. And what an amazing last 4 years we have had. Challenging last 4 years with COVID and a renewed discussion around the racial injustices that we are facing in this nation. And I'm honored to have been a part of that as clerk. And so first I will say to Clerk Mendoza, you have my support in whatever you need to be as successful as you possibly can be. I would first like to say thank you to my mother, Raquel Reid, who birthed me into this world, but also was just you're my best friend now. We have conversations all the time. We've grown so close. Many of you have heard some of the struggles that I've had, in my childhood and throughout my life. And for parents, know that the mistakes or missteps that you make do not have to impact the lives of your children. Your children can go on to create great things in this world. So hold that close, parents. I want to speak to, and I want to say thank you to folks in the community who were extremely supportive over the last 4 years. I couldn't have made it through this term without you. Malika, Allie, Claire, who's now on the dais here, Tricia, so many folks out there who were extremely supportive, and so forgive me if I didn't say your name, but I'm thinking of you now. Claire, in me you have an undying partner, an unrelenting partner in working for transparency and good government. Alderperson Braithwaite, economic development. I'm right there with you, and I want to make sure that we're ensuring that our black and brown businesses are receiving all the support they need to ensure that to be successful and thrive. You have a partner in me with that. Alderman Wynn, the missing middle. I think that's something I've heard you talk about on affordable housing. You have a partner with me in solving the housing crisis, particularly around the missing middle. Alderman Newsma, Councilmember Newsma. Environmental issues. You have a partner in me in making sure that Evanston is living up to our green and commitment here in our city. Brethren. Bobby Burns, you have a partner in me in doing whatever the heck we need to do to make sure the 5th Ward is coming out better than it ever has been. And we stand on the shoulders of giants with Alderman Simmons and Alderman Holmes. And you have my support in strengthening the 5th Ward. Manager Storley, everything. We have to work together on everything because you're the city manager, and what you have for me is someone who will support you in your position to make sure you have everything you need to be the most successful city manager this city has had, and to make sure that you have a fair shot, because I am inspired by your story. We have different, I think we need to adjust how the position is chosen, but you are an amazing person. You started here in this city over a decade ago in the IT department and rose through the ranks as a woman to become the city manager of Evanston. That is an amazing story. You're someone who went to college, to night school, if I'm not mistaken, to get your degree. You are an amazing person, and you have someone who will support you in your position with me. Mayor Biss, it is an honor to serve with you. You are one of the most brilliant people I've ever had the good fortune to be in the presence of. And so I'm honored to be serving with you and to tackle the issues of policing in our city and to really create a model for our nation. Stephanie, I told you got everything you need from me. Alderman Stufferton. I can't call you quiet, but somewhat quietly, you are one of the most brilliant people in any room that you walk into. This guy, yeah, certainly he is, but you're up there too, and I really appreciate how laser focused you are on policy and how you hold our feet to the fire. And I hope to be a partner in in making the city more like Cicero, the great man. It's an inside joke for the folks who follow the election. Alderman Ravel, again, affordable housing, environmental issues, you have a partner in working to advance those issues in our city. Alderman Fleming, you have been a stalwart defender of equity and ensuring that our city is approaching every aspect of our operations through an equitable lens, and you have a partner in me in making sure that we continue to do that. Thank you for your work. To my residents, to the residents of the 8th Ward, I shouldn't say my residents, to the residents who put me in this position, as I told many of you on the campaign, I am not your hero. I am not the person who's going to make things happen for you. I want to be, Batman's, he had Albert, or whatever the guy's name was. I'm looking to be the sidekick, to be your partner in making sure you are the hero of your own story, to ensure that you have the tools to create the community that you would like to see. And that is the role that I plan to play for you. So with that, I do want to introduce two bits of business to begin on the path of making our city the most livable city in America, and dare I say the world. I would like to place as a special order of business on the agenda for the 24th a resolution or ordinance that would open the beaches to Evanston residents.
Yes.
And I think we can work with city staff and our colleagues to ensure that can happen. We can use the reserve funds. We have over $2 million, and I'm sorry, not reserve, surplus funds. Surplus funds, we have $2 million in surplus from 2020, and we can use a portion of that to make the beaches accessible to every Evanston resident this summer and end the racist policy the exclusionary and, dare I say, racist policy of charging for beach access. So I make a motion to place that on the agenda as a special order of business for the 24th. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
So Councilmember Reid has moved to place the special order of business on the agenda, and Councilmember Kelly has seconded. Is there any discussion? Remember to, during call of the wards, enumerate a special order of business. That much I do remember. It's everything else that I don't.
Well, it's appropriate to make a referral. I have to check the rules on whether it's appropriate to make a special order of business. I can't speak to that off the top of my head, but maybe our previous corporation counsel is here. We could opine on that, but I don't see her.
Oh, there's your previous clerk is fine to opine.
Should I step up?
Yeah, go ahead.
Good evening, members of City Council, Mayor Biss, Clerk Mendoza, City Manager Storley, Kelly Gandersky, former Corporation Counsel, now Deputy City Manager. As I recall from the rules, a referral can be made to put on the next City Council agenda or committee as proper. Since the meeting was already noticed, putting a special order of business now and voting and discussing could be a violation of the Open Meetings Act.
Well, Clerk, I'm sorry, I'm out of date. Councilmember Reid was not calling for a vote on the item. He was calling to place the special order of business on the next agenda.
Yes, that's proper.
But would require a vote.
It would require, no, he could just make the referral.
That's what I see.
It would require a vote to place as a special order of
There's a
business.
special order,
Yes.
yes, that is correct, I apologize. So yes, is a referral for special order business at the next council.
Yeah, exactly.
Not be voted and discussed tonight, obviously.
Understood.
Okay.
But is the motion under consideration, which is the motion to put the thing on the next agenda, open for discussion?
So was there was a motion made?
Yeah,
Was
the
there a
motion was made and seconded.
Seconded, okay, yes, there could be discussion and then voted to be placed on the next city council agenda.
Great, thank you for your help.
Thank you.
And this has been an awesome civics lesson. Is there any discussion on the motion before us, which again is a motion to place the special order of business on the May 24th agenda?
Clerk Reid, I know this is
Councilmember
something that, thank you, I guess, that we have
discussed previously, and I think we would have to do one of two things, Clerk Reid. Any financial decision that we discuss will require data and information. So I don't know if it would make sense to refer it to a committee just to gather some additional data, or you would have to be really clear with our staff to bring something back so quickly it would have a financial impact on our future budget. So I understand the nature and the reason why, but I think for us to all have a healthy dialogue, to me, your ideas has value, but the portion that you would take from the existing budget, I don't know if we could make that change so quickly. So I think it deserves a good, healthy conversation, and my advice to consider is sending it through a committee so we can at least get the data and statistics to understand the down the road impact of any vote that we would make on that topic.
Yes,
Councilman Reid?
thank you, Mr. Chair. I will note that beach tokens are currently being sold. I think this should be a pilot program for this year to test out, so I should have noted also that it's a pilot program for this year. The financial impact, we know at most, Manager Storley, I've had conversations with you, and that roughly total beach revenue is about $800,000. That's including all beach revenue, not just beach tokens for Evanston residents, so the dollar amount will be less, but I think we can have all of that data prepared for the 24th by city staff, and we can certainly have a thorough examination of it.
Councilmember Newsom?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I will request part 2 of the civics lesson, if that's okay. As a special order of business going to the next meeting, what does that entail? And I recall from watching the previous meeting earlier this evening that a special order of business cannot be held. So does that mean that it's all or nothing next time? I'll also add that I'm supportive of the objective here. I would love to do away with beach tokens and allow all Evanston residents equal and free access to the beach. We want to make sure we do that judiciously.
My understanding is the answer to that question is yes, that the ordinary mechanism to hold an item awaiting action is ineligible in the instance of special orders of business.
Mr. Mayor.
Councilmember Reid.
I would also like to note that items, special order of business, items that are designated as a special order of business can be held. It's just a different threshold for holding. So there's still the possibility, and I'm happy to be a part of holding it. If it's not ready and we don't have all the information, I'm happy to hold it then, but I believe in our city staff, and I think we can have a strong proposal that's ready to make beach access open this year to every single Evanston resident.
So my understanding is that the Corporation Council wants to weigh in by phone. Is that still the case? So how are we going to do that? Hold on, we're going to try a little experiment here.
All right, go ahead.
Mayor Biss and council members of the University Council, Corporation Council Nicholas Cummings. I just want to point out that the motion itself is out of order at this time. The item can be discussed, but it was not on the agenda, so no business can move forward on that particular piece of action. The clerk, Councilmember Reid is correct that Rule 1811 does require a vote for a special order of business that is referred by a council member. But during call of the ward, you can make references to committees like Councilmember Kelly did. But to call a vote on something that is not on the agenda would be improper.
I'm not sure I understand. Let me ask this, Council. What is, clearly a member of council has the authority to take an action to place a special order of business on the agenda. What is the appropriate mechanism by which to exercise that authority.
Just a second. I'm just gonna interrupt for just a second. The mayor has the ability to put us a special order of business, as does the city manager. And in the spirit of this being our first meeting and council members not having the benefit of the training that we're having this coming weekend and next weekend, I'm just going to agree to place this on the agenda as a special order of business, and we can move on.
Point of order.
Councilmember Reid.
I apologize. I think that, yes, it has been the past practice that the mayor and the city manager place items of special orders of business on the agenda, but nowhere in the council rules does it say that the mayor or the city manager has that authority. The only mechanism in the rules, Rule 18.11 and 18.12, the only mechanism is by majority vote of the council. And we just haven't done that in the past, but I'm hoping to follow this rule.
That's a clarifying question.
Councilmember Fleming.
So there's these lights, Mayor, I don't know if they're working or not. Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't, but I'll try to.
Oh, yeah, look, there's one. It's next to your name.
I'll try to put those on so I don't have to wait. With the special order of business, does it have to go on for introduction and action, or can it be introduction and special order of business? So we can put this on an introduction, we can start the conversation if the material is not detailed enough. We don't have to do introduction and action on the 24th. So that means, I think, Alderperson Braithwaite's concern of moving too fast, and if we can vote on it tonight, we can put it on the agenda and then move from there still with enough time to make a good decision. Are you asking for it? You're asking just to be on the agenda, no introduction and action? just
Yeah,
on the-
at this point, I'm not asking to suspend the rules. I think we can.
Okay, so I think we can have the vote just to get it on the agenda on the 24th for an introduction. Seems to be.
The rules of city council were amended, and 1811 allows them to be placed on by the city manager, the mayor, or a member of city council. This requires 5 days notice. It does not necessarily require a vote anymore.
Well, but I would imagine that you said mayor, manager, or city council, and for the city council to act requires a vote, correct?
According to the rule, it does not require a vote. It just requires 5 days prior notice to the city council by electronic mail.
Right, but what does it mean for the city council to place a special order of business on the agenda if not through the action of voting on a motion at some point? Surely that's the way the city council acts.
That is correct. It will be voted on at some point. However, the rules that were amended do not require a vote for it to go on as a special order of business. This needs to be referred by the council member within 5 days notice.
But by any council member unilaterally may do so. I see.
Yes.
Okay, that's very clear. Thank you. So what I'm hearing, council members, is that you have the authority without a second and without a vote to simply put a special order of business on the agenda. Not only now, but you could do so 9 days from now, as long as it's 5 days or more before the 24th. Is that, you're still disputing that characterization of the rules, Councilor?
I dispute that. But for the sake of time, I guess it's still going to be on the agenda as a special order of business. I would request a vote on it because I think that's proper procedure.
You need a
but-
vote, no. Sorry.
I'm sorry, who just said that?
Clerk Mendoza said something.
Oh, okay.
We do need to, as I read it, we do need to take a vote.
Yes. Thank you, Clerk Mendoza.
Well, if I'm not a council member, but if somebody whose ward number is 8 or higher wants to refer to the rules committee going over the special order of business procedures, that might not be a bad idea. But I'm happy to call the vote, if that's your preference. I'm also happy to let the city manager place it on the agenda as a special order of business. It doesn't really matter to me how we do it. I think we're going to get there. Do you have a preference?
I think we should call the vote.
Okay. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, clerk, could you please call the roll? And just to recapitulate, this is a motion to place a special order of business on the May 24th agenda to make beach access free.
For all Evanston residents.
For introduction, not introduction and action. For introduction. Thank you.
So I have Councilmember Kelly as a second. Would you, Councilmember Kelly?
Yes.
Councilmember Braithwaite?
Yes.
Councilmember Wynn?
Aye.
Councilmember Newsman?
Aye.
Councilmember Burns?
Aye.
Councilmember Sufferton?
Yes.
Councilmember Ravel?
Aye.
Councilmember Reid?
Aye.
Councilmember Fleming?
Aye.
So on a vote of 9-0, the motion passes, and through any number of means, we now have confidence that this item will be on the agenda on May 24th. And all kidding aside, I intend to make sure that on the Rules Committee agenda for earlier that same day, we not only clarify, but also perhaps revisit this question, because it's an important procedural item with obviously a lot of differing interpretations of the current reality. Are you still?
I have one last.